up, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of On the Bluff. I'm your host, Christian Fowler. Joining me, as always, our co-host, Gabe Kuhn, our producer, Kenny Stubblefield, and we're sorry for the delay. We're a day late, but
it happens.
We have everybody back.
Yeah, we're a day late, but we're not $1 short.
No,
come on, brother.
No. After a long time of me and Gabe, or me and Kenny, or Kenny and Gabe, or any mix and match of us, we're all back. It's probably been at least a month since it's been all three of us. So, fellas, good for it to be all of us again.
Yeah, it was time, especially with what happened this past Saturday. You know what I mean? Like It's just
and we needed all hands on deck.
It's a little bandwagon of all of us to show up this week.
It is a little bit, but here we are. So it is what it is.
Yeah. I had a good weekend, though, because that's usually where we start.
Yeah.
I was watching that thing that happened
on Saturday
and getting third-degry sunburns.
Bro. Okay, Gabe, be honest. Was it as hot as it's ever been on the field?
No.
Dude, come
UCLA game in 2017 was hotter. Ole Miss in 2019
was bad.
From the stand was hotter.
August 31st. It was the first game.
No, it wasn't the worst it's been. It was bad though.
I was at the Ole Miss game. I was not at the UCLA game. I was at the Ole Miss game on the sidelines, and I have never in my life felt like my skin was burning off my legs kneeling down on that turf. Like I have never this past weekend. I was like, there's a breeze. It's not even really that hot outside.
Yeah.
But for some reason, bro, it was like God's light was shining on to the Liberty Bowl and lighting that bitch on fire, man.
Dude, my dumbass. Hold up. You see
wow.
My dumbass. Hold up, dude. I have to tell you. My dumbass decided to do my hair and not wear a fucking hat. I'm so mad at myself.
Bad call.
I'm so angry. My forehead's peeling. Look at my nose.
Yeah. You're burned.
Oh, my God. I've been putting on After Sun since 5 o'clock on Saturday night. I mean, good God.
Hey, to celebrate the win, take the hat. Let's take the hat off for the rest of the show.
No, hell no, man. You've already seen enough.
I don't know about that one.
You have seen enough, man. Hell no.
Yeah, I think it's because we got spoiled by like 2 weeks of pretty solid weather, and then it got super freaking hot again last week, and so now nobody's used to it. Luckily, I think it's over now. I think we are getting to a little bit of better weather. But let's see. What did I do this weekend? I don't. Nothing's jumping out, but it's been longer than normal, so maybe I'm just missing something. Probably went out to dinner. Yeah, went out to dinner.
Oh,
that was about it.
Dude. Oh my gosh.
Went out to dinner and watched football.
I can't believe you did that.
Pretty standard fall weekend.
Man.
You had a steak, and it's the second best steak you've ever had.
No.
Okay, all right.
He had a burger, and it was the 544th best burger he's ever had.
Nope, not even that. It was Mexican food. So.
Oh shit! Come on.
So no.
It was the 544th best chicken, cheese, and rice you've ever had.
That's right. There you go. Now we're in the ballpark. Nothing.
Dude, you were turned up, brother. I mean, you're one of one. Your weekend.
I know. I went nuts this weekend. I feel like typically I have better weekends to report with, but this weekend was just football and eating dinner. So I mean that's pretty much how you want it this time of year.
That's fine. I dig that.
Sounds like a pretty good weekend to me.
Yeah,
I don't mind it.
But let's go ahead and do it. Let's jump into it. I know everybody's itching to hear about it and talk about it, especially us three. But I want to start with this. So if you're living under a rock, Memphis beat Arkansas this weekend. It was an incredible game. Back and forth. Memphis had to come back from down 18 and get an insane forced fumble to have a chance at winning, go down, and 3rd and 8, go to a quarterback run that works, and Memphis
backup quarterback run.
Arrington Maiden ran the read option and got a first down on 3rd and 8 and iced the game away. So it was an incredible game. But speaking of like us wanting to talk about it, fans wanting to hear about it, like it just reminds you of any time, like if you're a massive fan of a football team, when your team not only gets a win, but gets like a signature, awesome, whether it's a playoff win, an unexpected win, a tough fought win, like all you want to do for the next week is at least for me, is listen to podcasts about it or then or
watch highlights.
Yeah, watch highlights. It's like you just want to get as much content as you possibly can coming off of a win like this. So I know the fans are excited, but for you two, Kenny, were you there on Saturday?
Oh, hell yeah, I was there.
Y'all were there. I'll let y'all take it away because I wasn't there. I was just watching it on TV like a regular guy. So what are we feeling? How are we feeling after this win?
I just want to say off top, like every time a win like that happens at that place, it just feels like this momentous occasion for the city. Yeah. And like with most universities, it's not like that. Like I was talking to Jeff Calkins earlier today on my show, and he was like, if Wisconsin gets a big signature win, it's not like, oh, what a day for Madison. Alabama wins. What a day for Tuscaloosa. But like the way that our university is set up and the fan base is set up, it always feels just like this massive occasion for Memphis. And adding on top of the win itself before the game, you have the remembrance of Fred Smith and all he meant to this city at FedEx and how many people he's employed and all the good he's done through using that money, using that monetary value to throw it around and better our city. And the flyover from the FedEx plane. It's just, I don't know about you, Kenny, but that's where I want to start. It just felt like a celebration of Memphis like we haven't seen in a long time in that stadium.
Yeah, it definitely. I mean, I said this on other podcasts on this network the week prior. I said it. This feels like a special. It feels like it's going to be a special day for Memphis on Saturday. Like, and as weird as this sounds, like, and I got a lot of looks, a lot of laughs, and I wasn't joking. This team has a feeling. Just this season in general, I feel it like it's a 2019 Destiny type of team, man. Like it feels weird.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
I'm
relax.
That's
a little bit, Kenny. Damn.
That's exactly the response that I got. That's exactly the response that I got.
Because no one wants you to jinx it. You know what I mean?
That's whatever. I didn't jinx the Arkansas game.
Yeah,
they ended up coming back and winning.
I mean, to Kenny's point though, like it does. You do feel like you're jinxing it, and you don't want to speak too early. And it's 4 games into the season, so we can't get carried away. But any season that turns out to be, one for the record books or ends up being special and one that people talk about forever, much like that 2019 season, like games like this have to happen for it to be that season. Like,
you have like 2019 Ole Miss.
Yeah, Ole Miss. Yeah, and you have game day come in and go into the Cotton Bowl. Like, there's so many ingredients that go into like one of these incredible seasons that when you say the year, a true fan of the team will be able to give you all those big moments. The Tulsa 27-yard missed field goal on Halloween or Halloween weekend, whatever it was. Like, special seasons do have ingredients to them. Like, if you just say it like, okay, for example, and this is going probably way off of where we were headed tonight, but if you use like last season as an example and just said Memphis rolled through terrible teams, then you'd be like, yeah, that was a good season. It was a fun year, but you have a season like this where Memphis has already beaten an SEC opponent at home. There's so many things on the table, even though it's not super massive names, you still have Tulane and South Florida coming to Memphis. You have the possibility of a conference championship. You have the possibility of the college football playoff. Like, there are things that can make this season stand alone from other years. So I don't want to be premature, and I don't think anybody wants to crown a team before they've deserved it or earned it. But things like this have to happen for it to be considered one of those special once every few year seasons.
All right. Now, getting into the game, man.
Let's do it.
It was wild. It was wild. They were down 28-10 in that first half. Brendan Lewis was missing throws. They made a couple of bad mistakes as a coaching staff. They try the onside, surprise onside. They try the double pass, which I heard Ryan talk about it after the game. CJ Smith, that's his first touch of the year. Tough one. But don't throw the 9 route there. Just throw it back to Sutton. He was wide open. He had one guy to beat, and it was the safety. Just throw it back to him. He tried to throw basically a fade ball to him from across the field. Don't do that. But there was a couple of bad decisions, bad plays made in that first half. Now, I thought one of the most important plays of the game was Cortez Braum before the half, 31 seconds to go, maybe a push-off, probably a push-off at the end of that play, but it ends up in a 38-yard touchdown. So now you're 2 scores behind instead of 3 scores behind heading into half. I thought that made a huge difference, especially getting the ball out of half. But it was just amazing. Even though I thought they made mistake after mistake after mistake, players, coaches, everybody involved in that first half, I never felt as if they were being outplayed in some grand way. I never felt like they should have been down 18 points. I never felt like they were going to lose that game because of the deficit they were in, if that makes sense. I always sort of had this mentality of the door is open. The door is open for this team. And of course, second half happens. Defense holds them to 3 points, gets 2 turnovers. The running game was absolutely dominant. They didn't abandon the running game, which I thought was awesome. It was just one of those days at that stadium where it just felt like it was possible and it was going to happen. And it did.
I was on the sideline during halftime, and I said, and Gabe, Christian, if y'all agree with me, y'all tell me if you don't, but I felt that's why I got so frustrated with those 2 plays you were talking about, the onside and the double pass, because to a man, it did not feel like Memphis was getting outplayed.
You didn't need to do it.
You didn't need them.
You didn't need, and what it smelled like to me was Ryan Silverfield coaching in a way in that first half that made it seem like Memphis needs those gadget plays to stay with Arkansas. And to a drive by drive by drive, whether it was on defense, whether it was on offense, Memphis was hanging with Arkansas.
Yeah.
Right? Consistently hanging with them. And so even coming out of that first half, I said, these guys, like, this game is clearly not over.
Here's the thing, man. Like, if Brendan is not as erratic as he was in that first half, they're probably in that game in the first. They probably never go down by 18. He had a lot of open guys on various RPOs, just running 2 or 3, 4 or 5 yards wide open. He was sailing the shit out of the ball. Now, Ryan said that was nerves, probably was, because let's remember, let's take into consideration, brother. Yeah. This guy has been through football misery, brother. At Colorado with Carl Durrell as a redshirt freshman, then with Ken Wilson and Jeff Choate at Nevada. He was 9-26 coming in this year. Like, this was the biggest opportunity situation he's ever been dropped in his collegiate career through 6 years.
Yeah.
So, like, I understand that excuse, but if you take away him being erratic, I just think even that first half looks different. They make it easier on themselves if you just get some better balls thrown by Brendan Lewis.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the crazier things about the entirety of the game is there were moments throughout that first half, even though I completely agree with what you're saying. Like, it never felt like they were being outplayed and that they should have been down 3 scores. But there was multiple times where I was like, if this breaks wrong here,
it's over.
Then it's over. Like, it's done. And there were multiple opportunities for Memphis's players to get dejected and just kind of pack it in and just say it's not our day and it's not going to happen. But that's not what they did. And every time, and Gabe, we talked about this on the radio today, every time a big moment came up, somebody answered the bell.
Yes.
It's in a moment that you have to have it, you run the ball, Sutton Smith takes off for 64 yards and scores a touchdown. The forced fumble by
Cortez Braum makes a springing block.
Yeah,
on that play.
exactly.
Chris Adams off a crazy
defensive line.
Chris Adams off a crazy ankle roll comes back and has a hell of a second half.
Right.
Hell of a second half.
Or Brendan Lewis, who hasn't been able to hit down the field at all throughout the first half, hits Cortez Braham to give you some momentum going in the half. Or you get down and it looks like no way that you're going to even have an opportunity to win this game, and Chris Bracey delivers a right hook to the ball and it pops out. And then you get the third down and you're thinking, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We're going to give the ball back to him and they're going to win this game.
Brennan's helmet popped off. Take a timeout, Ryan.
Right.
Get him back in.
I'm getting chills talking about this right now. This is crazy.
And then Arrington Maiden, your backup quarterback, sees a snap, keeps the ball to himself, runs right
when
through
he
the teeth
when
of
he
the
wasn't
defense.
supposed to.
No,
Ryan said in the post game that was supposed to be a handoff all the way for 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Yeah, and he literally carries the entire defensive and offensive line with him to get a first down.
And you know who he mostly carried their 390-pound defensive tackle for 7 yards.
Yeah, so he's
205 pounds, man. He's a redshirt freshman. That's not supposed to be possible.
No, but it just shows you the belief and the buy-in from the team. And if you saw like the Ryan talking to the players after the game, it was everything that he said is what this team is, and that they could have packed it in, they could have given up, they could have given Arkansas more opportunity. There were so many moments where players stood up that you go, okay, this isn't dumb luck or a goofy shaped ball bouncing the right way or whatever. Fill in the blank. Like it was a team full of players who aren't as talented as the roster that Arkansas has, aren't of the same caliber that Arkansas has. But every time that they needed to step up, whoever's number was called, whether that's a running back, a wide receiver, the offensive line as a whole, the defensive line as whatever position group or individual that you called out in a specific moment, for the most part, made the exact play that they had to. And that's just not something that every team can do, no matter the talent.
And what really amazes me about let's talk about two massive plays in that game, right? Well, the Sutton Smith run for 64 yards and the punch out by Chris Bracey. There are like little tiny minute details that made those things possible. If Brendan Lewis doesn't ride that mesh a little longer than normal, that never happens. Nope. Sutton Smith never escapes the backfield, but he rode it a little bit longer, and somehow here's Sutton getting a stiff arm off, running 64 yards. No one's going to catch him. And then the Chris Bracey punch out. And Cruz Law, I want to give a lot of credit to him, man.
Shout out to
Number 23 stepped in, got the sack late in that game on Taylon Green. They got the punt back before the 64-yard run. So that's another thing. That's a little detail. But when Chris Bracey punched that out, did you see how Mike Washington Jr. went down?
Yeah.
Cruz Law comes up, perfect run fit, tries to hit Mike Washington Jr. in the mouth. And quite frankly, he gets trucked. He gets the worst of it. But he falls backwards, and Mike Washington Jr. is parallel on top of him, so his knees are never able to touch the ground. So Chris Bracey, in the last millisecond before that knee's going to touch, comes in and pokes it out because Cruz Law was there on the run fit and got his ass trucked in the hole. It's just like these little tiny details with any of these particular plays that made the difference for the Tigers. If they go a smidgen differently, they probably don't win that ball game.
Then
it's wild how that all turned out, man. Seriously.
That's what makes the game so beautiful, though, right? Like if you truly watch a football game and you digest it, and you're not just kind of on your phone and then checking out a play. If you truly watch a football game and you kind of keep mental notes of what happens throughout the game, then it really is crazy. This small, little, tiny things most people don't notice that completely affect the outcome of the game and cause one team to win and one team to lose. Is what makes the game so incredible.
Can we talk about this real quick? This is something that you've mentioned a few times, Gabe. You talk about Sutton running that 65-yard run, but can we talk for a second? The University of Memphis Tigers ran for 290
41
yards.
carries, 290 yards, 7.1 average
against an SEC defense.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
offensive line. They've got the goods, brother.
Yeah, we really went into detail on this earlier on Gabe's show, and I'll kind of share my same thoughts on this. There will be people out there, whether it's national or Arkansas fans or whoever, that will point to Arkansas not having a good defense and that
discredit them.
Yes. What are you gloating about? What are you talking about? Arkansas has one of the worst defenses in the SEC. This is not a quote unquote what we call an SEC caliber defense. Here's the truth of the matter. Go look at Arkansas's recruiting classes. Go look at Memphis's recruiting classes. Go look at Arkansas's transfer portal classes. Go look at Memphis transfer portal recruiting classes. Go look at the average size on the defensive line of Arkansas, and go look at the average size of the offensive line on Memphis's roster. and you tell me that it just doesn't mean anything. No, this is Arkansas. Like I said, they're a much more talented team on paper. Like they get much higher recruits than Memphis does. And yes, I know Arkansas is not one of the 3 or 4 best teams in the SEC, but they're still usually pretty solid in the SEC, and they're
You
usually
don't have to be Georgia to recruit better than Memphis, brother.
Yes,
they're in the SEC,
and they recruit.
They have plenty of money.
Yes, they have much more money. They recruit much better, and so typically in these matchups, what we see when you see an SEC team against a non-Power 4 team. One of the biggest things, if you're a true football person, that first thing your mind goes to is they are going to get overpowered in the trenches. That SEC team's offensive line is going to bully the non-Power 4 schools' defensive line, and vice versa for the SEC team's defensive line and the non-Power 4 schools' offensive line. That was very confusing to try to say and not.
No, I hear you.
Well done.
And that's just what your mind jumps to is they're going to get overrun. It might not be in the first half, but eventually they're going to use that size. They're going to use that talent and caliber, and they're just going to lean on you, and you're going to feel the difference between an SEC school and a non-Power 4 school. It was almost the opposite in this game. Memphis's offensive line 100%. Continued to gain steam, continued to lean on Arkansas until their run defense just broke. I mean, you had the 64-yard touchdowns, obviously the highlight, but it's the body blows. Like
what bothers me too is you'll hear like Arkansas fans will say, without that 64-yard run, where Sutton Smith was averaging 7 yards a carry before that, brother.
Right.
That just made it jump to 12 yards per carry.
Right.
Like he still had 11 carries for 83 yards before that carry.
Right.
Like or whatever it was.
Yeah, so just overall extremely impressive for this to be done, to run for nearly 300 yards,
right?
And to average over 7 yards per carry. And Gabe broke it down earlier, and I'll kind of let him do it again, but they mixed it up the whole time.
You know what I wish we had still? Film room, brother, because there is so much good shit in the ground game that I was going back and watching the game. I was watching the full highlights and basically the game film of it. And they were running tons of shit. It was unreal because they now have a quarterback that they can run out there. So they're running G lead, quarterback G lead. They're running quarterback lead. They're running quarterback counter. They're running lead. They're running read option counter read option. They're running power read option. They're doing and there was one play that it went for like 2 yards, but it was like an NFL scheme in the sense that it looked like power. They were going to run power left. But it was a fake pull, and he comes back around to the right and tries to kick out the DN. I'm like, oh, my God. Like Silverfield, Jeff Myers, Tim Cramsey in the run game on Saturday were in their bag. And I think it confirmed a lot of what we thought in the first 3 games. They were not trying to run shit. They were running inside zone, outside zone, very simple RPOs. And then they break all of this good stuff out against Arkansas. And now the rest of the country, the rest of their schedule is going to have to reckon with, oh, shit, what are they going to run?
Right.
Every time they come up, because they did it out of different looks. It was impressive as hell, man, to just watch how they schemed all that up. I was, and also shout out to, I mean, that's a shit ton of transfers out there, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Learning the playbook on the fly, some in spring, some in fall. And for them to not even try to execute these plays in a game before this Saturday and then execute the way they did, that's a testament to Ryan Silverfield as a coach and Tim Cramsey as a coach and Jeff Myers as a coach. Yeah. Because that's hard to do. And I think it's just generally tough. Like, and I think a lot of coaches around the country are having this conversation. Like, to be able to instill that type of belief and be able to get your playbook in that short of a time and to have these guys execute the way they did on Saturday, like that's hard to do, man. Like that really is. Like Cortez Bram has been on campus for what? 2 months tops?
A month and a half, probably.
2 months tops.
Yeah.
7 catches, 101 yards, and a touchdown in the springing block on Sutton Smith's 64-yard run.
Yeah.
And you're like, how? I know everybody has to deal with it, but there are some coaches that are better at it than others. It's pretty impressive. Now, also, I do want to mention this. I wanted to fit this in somehow. Ryan at Memphis at this point. I think the perception is changing, guys. I think the perception is changing. Here are the stats: 25-5 since the start of 2023, 17-2 in their last 19 games, including the 4-0 start this year. 5 wins over Power 4 teams, including each of the last 4 games versus Power 4 opponents. Like, if there was ever a doubt that he's doing just where some people say he's not even doing a good job, if there's ever doubt he was doing a good job or whatever, get that doubt out of your mind. He's doing a damn good job. He's doing a great job with the set of circumstances he has. This is 19 new starters, folks, and you beat Arkansas in week 4. I don't know what else to tell you at this point about Ryan, but I feel like that perception is changing in town.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And we talked about it earlier, but just that video that I was referencing with him talking to the players in the locker room, like if you saw the love that was shown on that video, whether it was on Instagram or Twitter or whatever the case, like there is a sentiment that Memphis has a good football coach now in the city. I think that's been accepted outside of Memphis probably for a little bit longer, but in the city, just because of how difficult it was going to be for anyone to follow what Mike Norvell left at Memphis, and for the struggles that Ryan had early in his career, and no grace was ever going to be given just because of who he was following. But I think a lot of people failed to mention or failed to bring up he was a first-time head coach.
And he dealt with COVID, then NIL, then transfer portal, then house settlement.
This wasn't just a coach that had some high pedigree. He wasn't even a coordinator. This was an offensive line coach.
Right.
So it's going to take some time, and it did. And you can say, well, the conference got easier, blah, 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 whatever people want to say. It doesn't matter who you play. When
conference looks badass this year.
I know
what you mean. You mean.
But coaches that aren't good at their job don't do the things that Ryan's done over the last couple of years. And I think we're seeing the fruits of a coach who has grown up and who has gotten better and understands what he's doing more. And everything's probably slowed down to him a ton, because just like you mentioned, not only is he going from an offensive line coach to a head coach of a program that just had its most successful season ever, but he also has to deal with COVID and NIL and all these other factors. And some people may throw them out as excuses, but they're not. It's just the reality of the situation. And I think that we're seeing the fruits of his labor of just continuing to grow, continuing to develop, learning how to hire coaches, learning how to put schemes in, learning how to manage a game, learning how to recruit in this modern day era. Like, we're seeing everything slow down for him. And I feel like this is the first game that people are going to point to and say that was his first marquee win. I don't know if I agree with that. I think that might be prisoner of the moment.
UCF, Mississippi State.
Yeah, I think it's kind of prisoner of the moment thing. I think it's prisoner of the moment, and I think it's also people just not wanting to give him credit until now. But if you want to stamp this as his first win, you can. I think he's had multiple in the past, but
I think
this seems like the one that could change the opinion on him for the vast majority of people.
All right, now I have to send a message to Tiger fans, guys. I really do. So Arkansas fans, I think, have pretty consistently, since the game happened, talked about Cortez Bram pushing off. They've talked about how lucky Memphis had got with Chris Bracey and the punch out. There's a lot of things that they keep bringing up. They talk about the refs, right? But I just want to send a message to Tiger fans who are getting defensive toward Arkansas fans about that. Stop doing that. Just accept it. Lean into it as a part of, okay, that's too close. The Liberty Bowl voodoo, brother. It's Liberty Bowl voodoo. That's what it is, right? When you're playing Mississippi State and you need a crazy punt return that they don't down, and Calvin Austin brings it back 90 yards, then you realize after the game that there's 2 4s on the field and it should have never counted. That's just part of Liberty Bowl voodoo. When you're in 2015 playing Ole Miss and Robert Nkemdiche gets knocked out of the game early with a concussion because Hugh Freeze stupidly decides to run him on 4th and short, and he gets stuffed, that's just part of Liberty Bowl voodoo, brother. Just accept it. Lean into it. There's a reason that this team has won their last 6 at home against power conference opponents. Just chalk it up to the stadium, man. Need to lean into this thing. I'm sorry. I don't want to see Tiger fans be defensive. Lean into the Liberty Bowl and the voodoo in that damn stadium.
Yeah, I agree with it.
It's real.
Just let it be its own thing. And I think earlier you mentioned like Jordan Hare, especially whatever that the national championship season or whenever it wasn't the national championship season, but just when they had the crazy tip game against Georgia, and then they had the kick 6 against Alabama, and it was just like, what is going on with this place right now? And it's like that. Just lean into it. Who cares? Like, you come here, you lose. Like, just let that be.
And guess
what it is.
You're gonna have a call go against you, brother.
Yeah.
That's just part of it.
It's just like, hey, when you come
price
here,
of admission. You know what I mean?
Crazy things are gonna happen. We're gonna win the game, and you're gonna find excuses to point at, and just use that and lean into it. And who cares what other people say? Because the game's over. It doesn't matter. Can't discredit it.
They ain't going back now.
To be honest with you, I'm not even gonna sit here and try to explain my way through all this shit. There's been a lot of shit against power conference opponents that have happened, and I'm like, I don't know how that happened. I don't know how the refs didn't see that,
but it did.
But you know what? I don't give a shit. It happens, brother. It happens every time. Just let it be.
All right. So okay, let's to kind of close this segment out, and I've loved this segment. I'm glad all 3 of us have been able to be on for this, but you talked about a few minutes ago that national folks are starting to see a little bit about this team. And so if you look at the projections, right, like if you project forward, okay, college football playoffs, let's talk about the college football playoffs for 1 second, because it's clear to me, and I think both of you guys would agree, that whoever comes out of the American Conference will be the representative for the G5 in the college football playoffs. Like, that's the way it's fleshed out. Boise State losing to USF in week 1 basically changed the game on that, right?
Yes.
And South Florida doing what they've done. Tulane,
I guess UNLV and undefeated UNLV could,
possibly, right? Odds are saying that's not
most
the case.
likely.
Most likely, the winner of the American Conference Championship will be the representative. If you look at a lot of the projections moving forward, guess who's in that 12 seed for the
Memphis.
G5? And there's a reason why. Let me bring them up for you. FanDuel. FanDuel's got the odds out. Now, this is going to be interesting, but I want you guys to help Tiger fans understand why they're being projected out this way. College football playoffs over on FanDuel. Memphis is plus 410 to represent the G5. Tulane is plus 390. USF is plus 350. So Memphis is third in FanDuel odds to represent the G5 coming out of the American. The top 3 teams in this right now are American teams. But everybody's projected Memphis. Why do you think that's the case?
To be honest with you, you want me to explain this to Tiger fans? I can't explain that shit at all.
I can explain it.
No, I can't. And the only reason I say that, okay, Memphis has Tulane, USF, and Navy on the schedule. They could lose. I get that.
And they're at home, though.
But my problem with these odds is they're at home for all those games. They're going to be favored in all of those games. So why does FanDuel have it this way? I know that they're not the only one betting. Like all the other books have it that way. But I cannot explain this to Tigers fans because I don't really understand it. Because also, if you go look at the odds to win the conference championship, they're third. I don't get it personally.
I think I can explain it. South Florida plays Charlotte, North Texas, Florida Atlantic, Memphis, UTSA, Navy, UAB, and Rice.
But they have to play Memphis though.
Yeah, but Memphis has to play Tulane and South Florida. And South Florida beat Boise State and Florida already.
They're home against them.
I know, but I'm just saying that's where it comes from. The odds makers are saying there's a better chance that USF runs the table than Memphis beats South Florida and Tulane, albeit at home. That's where the odds come from. Memphis is a garbage schedule. My goodness. And I mean, if South Florida ran the table, their only loss would be to probably a top 5 end of the season team in Miami. So I get it. I get it. And I know here in Memphis, we're riding really high right now. And I think people should be, but South Florida's a real threat. I mean, like we said, they beat Boise State and Florida. And you can say what you want about Florida, but them and Arkansas are very close for the most part. They're not too dissimilar of teams.
Can you explain
quarterback?
No,
play
I'm saying as far as perception.
Okay, sure. South Florida, I can give you that.
I think Arkansas is better.
Tulane at
Tulsa,
Tulsa just beat Oklahoma State, East Carolina, and Army backing that up. Then they have at UTSA, very capable team, at Memphis, at Temple. Temple's way better this year. Evan Simon, I don't know if you've watched him at quarterback. He can play. Like like Tulane being ahead of Memphis at this point, I don't quite understand either, especially with that ass kicking they just took from Ole Miss, where Jake Retzloff completed 5 freaking passes. He didn't complete a pass in the first half.
Yeah, I can rationalize the South Florida one, the Tulane one, not as much.
Well, I would rather talk about the Football Power Index, where it says Memphis.
It looks better.
For those that don't know, ESPN's Football Power Index has updated. Memphis's chances to win the American Athletic Conference sit at 42.7%, and their chances to get to the college football playoff sit at 35.1%. That's 10 percentage points higher than any other Group of 5 team to make the college football playoff. So, listen, guys, I get USF and the schedule. Don't get Tulane at all being ahead of Memphis in these odds. I just think with Memphis sitting at 4-0, both those teams having a loss, they control their own destiny. Therefore, they
100%.
probably should have the shortest odds to be in the college football playoff at this moment. That doesn't mean they will, because we know last year they could have been on their way to American Conference Championship if they didn't lose to a 6-6 UTSA team.
Right.
They have Florida Atlantic coming up this week, and they could completely screw it up then. I don't know. But I think based on what we've seen so far, four wins, 4 covers, heading into conference play, I cannot rationalize Memphis not being shortest odds for everything in the Group of 5.
No, I don't disagree with you. I'm right there with you. I think they should be, but we were given an explanation there. All right. Well, that was a lot of fun. Hope everybody enjoyed that segment. But we're going to take a quick break. Be back on the other side with NFL and college football for the Hot 3.
In the heart of the Highland Strip for 27 years, Trilogy Tattoo has helped tell stories for Memphians for generations. Located at 530 South Highland, Richie and his team are waiting to help you tell yours.
From tattoos to piercings, your body art should be as unique as you are. Voted a Memphis Flyer top 3 tattoo shop in the city of Memphis since day one. Your story will be safe here at Trilogy Tattoo.
Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11, and 3 to 11 on Sundays. They have convenient times waiting on you. Let Trilogy Tattoo help you tell your story.
It just shows how fragile an NBA season is. Bro. Like I had these conversations with fans all the time, and they say, "Well, we need to go get a backup point guard just in case Ja gets hurt or whatever." And just like Houston, like Russell Westbrook ain't saving your season, bro. Like Fred VanVleet is the guy that you had as your starting point guard. He's a vet point guard, won an NBA championship. I'm not gonna act like he's some type of all NBA player, but he was the guy that you had this season planned around. And that's going to affect this season. Am I saying Houston's going to be ass now? No. But they're not going to be as good as you thought they were going to be coming to the season, man. Guard play, especially point guard play, matters in the NBA. And doing it without having one really on your roster is definitely going to hurt.
Tune in to the Anthony Sain Show Mondays through Fridays at 1 p.m. live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
On the theme of things that are unnecessary, I went to my mother's house last night for a stupid gender reveal party in which the cake that I ate had pink icing in it. And we made a huge to-do about it.
Now that's silly.
I just don't understand it.
Gender reveal parties are massively overrated. It's silly. It's
Listen, why do I have to have like cheer for a team here?
That's part of this story.
She knew the flavor of the baby going into it. She was just revealing to us. You know, a meeting that could have been an email. This was a 45-minute drive to my mama's house to eat leftovers that could have been a text message.
A text message. Absolutely right. Hey, we're having a girl. Thanks. Good talk. I mean,
Sweet.
have a good night.
I've always lobbied my wife to not even find out. Like, let's have the grand reveal the way the Lord intended. Looking for a private part as soon as the baby comes out. That's what I want to do.
An innie or an outie when the baby comes out, and then you're done.
Tune into the 2 Buck Sports Show with Rusty Witten and Drew Gann, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, we are back. What y'all think? Where do y'all stand on this? Where do y'all stand? Do y'all stand on gender reveal parties?
On gender reveal?
Can I just say this? Uncle Buck, Drew Gann, man, that guy's about the funniest dude on this channel. I swear to God. That dude cracks me up. I think gender reveals are ridiculous.
Personally. So dumb.
I think they're stupid. But I also don't agree. I want to know the gender of the baby. I don't want to have to do a gender neutral nursery
like room. Yeah, I'm too
like just let me paint the ball.
I'm too OCD for that. Like I have to get stuff planned better to know. So I disagree with that part. But gender reveal parties.
Oh, they're so stupid.
It is such a. I don't want to get on a soapbox, but it's such a look at me thing. I think for most people, I think some people have good intentions with it. And it's like, all right, we can get people together, and that's cool. But
listen, I'm all for like throwing a party, having a party with friends.
Yeah,
I just think they're just far too much.
It's too over the top.
Too much hassle.
Yeah,
just to. And also, can I be honest? Like when we were having Myers, and Taylor was pregnant, she would not tell me what the sex was, even though I wanted to know. Like once we got the blood test, she's like, well, "You're gonna figure out at the gender reveal," and I'm like, oh. Like you already know my take on it. Like why can't I know and tell my friends that don't give a shit?
You have to know at the same time as everybody else. No, that's not cool.
But yeah, the way the good Lord intended, nah.
Yeah, I can't.
We don't need to do that. We're way too good on technology. We can figure this out early.
Yeah, I'd be a nervous wreck for like 9 months. Like, what is it? What is it? What is it? I can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's get to the hot 3. We got some actual national stuff that we need to talk about. One of them being the second longest tenured coach in college football, Mike Gundy of "I'm 40, I'm a man."
You said it in the wrong direction. It's "I'm a man, I'm 40." Get it right. Come on.
Oh, my bad. Like iconic. Like the most iconic press conference moment of my life, I think, outside of maybe it's practice.
Playoffs.
We're talking about practice or playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoffs, right? Like just epic press conferences. Somewhere, I think the downhill for Mike Gundy started when he grew that damn mullet out.
He's had that for a while.
No, not at all, Kenny.
That
mullet led him to a postseason number 7 ranking in 2021. No, let's not.
Yeah, this one, it's weird, right? Because Mike Gundy is synonymous with Oklahoma State and vice versa. To me,
how many years has he been there?
20 years? Huh?
20. It was his 21st season, but he was there as a player, then an assistant, and then the head coach. 35 of his 58 years
total. So
been spent honoring that university.
Yeah, when you say Oklahoma State, the first thing that pops into my mind is Mike Gundy. But the thing is, much like we're seeing in Clemson with Dabo Swinney, Mike Gundy was not willing to change with the times and wanted to do it the right way. If you're listening, that was air quoted. And if you're unwilling to change and you're unwilling to adapt to your environment, then the world's going to pass you by and you're going to end up fired. And that's what happened here. It looked like in week 1, the only good player that Oklahoma State had was their quarterback. He gets injured. He's out. The rest of the team was horrible. And they didn't have any. I mean, they got beat by Oregon. What was it, 69-3?
It was like they were playing an FCS team.
Yeah, I mean that's just embarrassing. So it was time. It had run its course, and it's time for Oklahoma State to do something else. But I will say, Mike Gundy had a lot of success.
Right.
Program. Like, Oklahoma State's not by any means some kind of national powerhouse, as we all know, but he had them extremely competitive the vast majority of the years that he was there. Put a ton of players in the NFL, a lot of quality talent. I mean, I think of like Justin Blackmon and Des Bryant. Was Brandon Whedon was Oklahoma State also, if I'm not mistaken.
Ollie Gordon recently.
Yeah, Ollie Gordon. Like that. He
Rodriguez for the Lion.
Yeah, a ton of players. I mean, we could probably name 50 of them that he's put in the league over the last 20 years. So a lot of success. Took that program to some pretty high highs, and now they're at a bottomed out low. And it was time to move on. And they're going to pay us $15 million buyout. And if he wants to, he can hang it up and chill for the rest of his life.
I think he will. I think he wants beach and buyout.
I don't blame him. That's
Killer Bees, beach and buyout.
Great deal.
I agree with your sentiment about him not adapting with college football fast enough. That being said, I also don't think Oklahoma State adapted alongside college football.
I agree.
They have lagged behind in money and funding to that program once it became legal. You know what I mean? They were used to the illegal shit. Once it became legal, they'd sort of lost the corner on the market that they had. So as much as I think Mike Gundy is at fault here, I think that Oklahoma State's at fault to a certain extent as well.
I agree.
Because here's the truth of it. Do you know how many transfers he had on this year's roster?
How many?
50. He turned over the whole roster.
Yeah.
He didn't get good ones because they didn't give him the amount of money to get good ones.
Right.
But like the one thing I'll say is I get why he's being fired. Okay. They lost to Tulsa. Okay, at home. That was the first time since 1951 Oklahoma State had lost at home against Tulsa. And, you know, I get that he's being fired. I think the problem I have ultimately is how they did it. 3 games into the season, unceremoniously just kicking his ass out the door. Like he didn't just spend 35 years serving your damn university to the best of his ability. He went to he had 18 straight winning seasons, 18 straight bowl games. Before he got there, they had 4 winning seasons in 16 years. He finished in the top 10 twice, won 2 Fiesta Bowls, finished in the top 15, I think 10 times. It's just like, I hate how unceremonious it was. And I'm not going to act like I'm some big Mike Gundy fan. I think he's hilarious. His personality cracks me up. You know, like I don't necessarily agree with everything that ever comes out of his mouth, whether it's college football or politics. But I thought they did him shitty. Now, some people would say, well, look at his buyout. If they waited till the end of the year, it would have been $10 million. It's $15 million right now. They're doing him a favor. Well, it didn't seem like he wanted to be fired right now. And I feel like coaches, especially the second most tenured coach outside of Kirk Ferentz at Iowa, who's been there 27 years, and a guy who's just had an insane amount of success at that place, like give him till the end of the year, and then you can fire him.
Yeah.
I don't think it was ever going to be clean because I don't think Mike Gundy wanted to give up his job. But at the same time, doing it 3 games into the season – after he recruited 50 new guys to come play for him, and all of the good work he's done over 35 years at that place, that doesn't sit right with me, no matter who the person is. I just think that was shitty of Oklahoma State to do him like that. And also, the timing of it sucked because they let him do his Monday presser.
Right.
And then Tuesday they fire him. Like, what changed? Just let the guy finish the year and then fire him. Or come to a mutual parting of ways, whatever it is. But to unceremoniously 3 games into the season, boot this guy out your front door, I just found that shitty. I'm going to be honest with you.
I agree.
Is that it? All right, let's move on. Second topic. Let's go to college football week 5 preview, man. This weekend is going to be a lot of fun football. Let me run through some of the major games that I'm seeing that I want y'all to talk about. We got USC starting off the game the day at 11 a.m. Against Illinois. Illinois coming off a
oh god, they got fucking killed.
Got smacked by Indiana. Notre Dame, Arkansas. Can Arkansas bounce back, or is Notre Dame gonna smack them around? It is in Fayetteville. That's a different kind of place.
Hey, by the way, just for Tigers fans out there, we're Arkansas fans the rest of the year.
Yes, we are. We want them to win a lot of games. And then we got Massive matchup. Number 4 LSU versus number 13 Ole Miss. Texas A&M versus Auburn. Indiana versus Iowa. Tennessee, Mississippi State. And then at 6:30, Oregon, Penn State. 6:30 again, Alabama versus Georgia. And that's really about it. This is going to be a badass weekend of football.
You know what I'm looking forward to first and foremost, buddy?
What
Ole
you
Miss
got?
versus LSU, because we have some extra drama.
Yeah, there
on
is.
that one. Number 4 versus number 13. Number 4 visiting number 13 Ole Miss.
What's this T you speak
I don't know
of,
if y'all
Gabe?
saw this. I don't know if y'all saw this over the weekend. Landry Kiffin, Lane Kiffin's daughter, head coach of Ole Miss, for those that have been living on a rock. She hard launched her relationship with none other than the leading tackler for the LSU Tigers, Whit Weeks, their starting linebacker and their captain. So she hard launched that relationship and just put the caption "happy" period under it. But she did it very selectively.
LSU
the
week.
week of LSU Ole Miss. So I'm all for, I want to hear some reckless speculation on this shit. Why'd she do it now? What's going on behind the scenes? How much does this affect the matchup? Because I think it does.
Yeah, you give your reason why you think it happened now, and I'll give mine.
Usually the easiest explanation's probably the right one. I think she's clout chasing to a certain extent. She knew she'd get more likes on this one, could monetize, make her lift her profile up, that type of thing. That's my assumption. But also, I guess it could be from Lane or Whit to play mind games with the other.
What if Lane's pissed, and this is get back? What if Lane did not want her dating Whit Weeks, did not approve of the relationship, and she was like, I got something for you, Pops. LSU week hits. I'm launching it out into the ether, and we'll see the questions that you get off of it. Now, do I believe that's true? I have no earthly idea, but to me, it's the funnest way to think about it. And so that's the way. Until we get a true explanation, if we ever do, that's how I want to think about it.
Yeah, dude. But here's what I was thinking: you got to keep Landry out of the facility this week.
Yeah, for real. She's an inside agent.
That's what I'm saying, bro. She's like Connor Stallions in this damn place.
Taz Rael in this bitch.
Yeah. If she pulls up with a phone, all she needs is a phone and a dream and Whit Weeks' number. That's all she needs. And then the game plan is wrecked. Ole Miss getting their ass kicked.
Yeah. Like if you're Lane,
do you like from the facility? I don't care if it's your daughter or what.
Might I take it a step further? If you're Lane, do you ban her from the house for a week? Because he works from home. He's got game film. He's got notes laying around.
What about this? He's got more than enough money to buy her a hotel room for the week.
That's what I'm saying.
What if she's the inside agent on the other side?
That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying what if she's feeding back to Pops?
Nah, Whit ain't a dummy, man.
What if Lane sent her out as a what do they call him, a honeypot?
Dude, when it comes to women, men are dumb as hell.
Exactly. What if she's a honeypot? What's that movie? The Interview?
Yeah, The Interview. You got honeypotted.
Honeypotting me right now?
Man, what if she is? That's
what happened to your Why are you wearing glasses? What happened to your contact?
I'm not lying, dude. That's a great point there, Christian.
But she would have to go to Baton Rouge and
No, she doesn't. She could just be like, "Hey, what's the plan this week?" And guys are so dumb that they'd be like, "If I'm getting some of that, then here you go. This is the game plan this week." Like, you can't tell me that you can't see a dude doing that, because they absolutely would. A lot of fun ways to think about this.
So here's my thing.
You go straight back to Lane and says, "Dad, they're gonna run a bunch of cover 2. Every third down, cover 0 blitz."
Yeah, I don't know what cover 2 man is, but he's been talking a lot about cover 2 man this week.
Oh my God! You're a lot of mug looks too in the A gaps.
Yeah.
Double mug.
Hey, if you're a LSU defender, if you're a LSU player, do you go confiscate Whitweem's phone this week?
I say, dude, you can't be an idiot. Don't
honestly, Gabe, that's got to be a conversation they're having, right? Like, bro, don't be a fucking idiot.
Well, yeah, I mean, sure, no doubt, no doubt. I mean, I would give him other advice that's not suitable for this show, but
Anyway, all right, let's talk.
I'll bleep it out. What's the advice?
No. It's fine.
There's
How about
more
this game?
stuff.
We can also talk about this game.
Yeah, and there's kind of some more drama also that's been overshadowed by this. Like, I don't know if you saw the press conference yesterday. Lane Kiffin is pissed that this game is not at night because he's like, if this was at Death Valley, if we were in Baton Rouge, this would be a night game. He is pissed that it's a 2:30 game and not a 6:30 game. That's neither here nor there. But I think this is probably going to be I'm circling this one as my favorite of the week. There's a lot of good ones, but this one should tell us a lot about both teams. First off, Ole Miss, what are they going to do at quarterback?
They got to stick with Trinidad.
I say Trinidad should be running out at quarterback until he proves otherwise.
Yeah,
that dude
I would
is
agree
so
with
talented. Oh my God.
Yeah, I would agree with that. From the LSU side, I know we all saw Brian Kelly's press conference last week and him act a fool. I'm not a fan of Brian Kelly at all. Never have been. Just put that out there. But the questions were fair. LSU has not looked very good this year. They beat Clemson, which everybody thought was a marquee win, including myself. Like, I thought Clemson was very legit this year. They have proven not to be by any means. So then you take that away. They snuck by La Tech. They beat Florida by, I think it was 10. It hasn't been very impressive for LSU otherwise. Garrett Nussmeier, who most people had him projected as a first round, if not the number one quarterback taken in this year's draft, he's been fine, but he hasn't been great.
Right.
Which is strange because they put a really, really good cast of wide receivers around him. I think there are a lot of one-trick ponies just as far as most of them are speed guys. And he doesn't necessarily have like a true number one, but he's got a lot of talent at the receiver position. So what does this game turn into? Because on paper, you got to be thinking shootout, right? Because Ole Miss's offense is so high-powered. And even though LSU's offense hasn't been up to bat so far this year, Ole Miss's defense is not great. They haven't played well for the majority of the season. Arkansas kind of had their way with them. So if Garrett Nussmeier is going to have a coming-out party, it could be this week. So I think that's going to be a heck of a game to watch.
Yeah, so I'm curious about Ole Miss's running game with Trinidad Chambliss and what they have in the backfield and Kyron Lacey. Or Keewan. What is it? Is it Kyron? It's not Kyron Lacey.
No, it's not. No.
Keewan. I'm losing my mind. But either way, I want to see what they have going on with their run game because LSU's run defense has been one of the best in the country. I think they're top 15 with our mark in the country. So that's something to be dealt with. And then throwing the ball, I mean, I watched a dual threat quarterback 2 weeks ago, and you can say what you want about DJ Lagway and the confidence he's lost, but I watched LSU pick him off 5 times. So I want to see sort of what LSU's defense responds like because this Ole Miss offense has been absolutely rolling. Now, conversely, you look at the other side, Ole Miss's defense, I thought they had their best week at the office last week against Tulane. Held them to 10 for 29 passing. Jake Retzloff had to be taken out of the game because he was so bad and couldn't do anything against them. So I want to see if they can bother Garrett Nussmeier even in the slightest. Can you bother him a little bit, get him off his spot, make him uncomfortable? We'll see where that is. Now, Alabama, Georgia, your guess is as good as mine, brother.
I have no idea. I can see so many different outcomes for this game. I could see Georgia coming out and stomping Alabama and proving like, hey, Alabama's not that team. And kind
they've looked like it the past two.
And kind of doing what Florida State did to them in week 1. At the same time, I could see this game being the shootout. We just saw Georgia in the shootout a couple weeks ago against Tennessee, so we know they're capable of it. We know their defense is capable of allowing points to a good offense, and if we're presuming that Alabama is, which I think we are, and Ty Simpson and Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard and Jam Miller are the players that we think they are and we've hyped them up to be, then I can see this being a shootout game, which is kind of where
Georgia's defense get cooked by Tennessee.
Yeah. So I'm kind of thinking this is going to be similar to last year's game. If you recall, it was Carson Beck versus Jalen Milroe. It was probably the best game of the entire college football season last year. It was incredible. Bama went up big on Georgia. Georgia came storming back. Big plays from both sides. Like it was the funnest game of the entire year, and I think we could see something similar on Saturday.
Yeah, I just want to see what Georgia's defense is going to look like stepping in there because I'm a believer in their offense and Gunnar Stockton. Like he made me a believer in that Tennessee game with that throw, especially that throw to London Humphrey.
Throw.
It's fucking dot.
Yeah.
But I'm curious what their defense looks like. Have they made adjustments from that Tennessee game? Because if they haven't, I see Ty Simpson and Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard and all these dudes taking advantage, because it feels like their offensive line settled in. It feels like Ty Simpson settled in. He was using his legs even a little bit in that Wisconsin game. I know Wisconsin stinks, but they treated them like they stunk. It was 38-14. So, you know what I mean? I'm very curious about this one. Now, final game I want to mention at least. Oregon Penn State. This is my Heisman pick before the season, if you'll remember, was Dante Moore at Oregon.
Yeah.
It wasn't a popular one. He was on the top 10 in shortest odds, according to FanDuel. But it wasn't a popular pick because they didn't necessarily have their wide receiver talent all figured out. Graduated a lot of offensive
You didn't know what he was.
Graduated a lot of talent. And we saw him at UCLA, and he didn't play all that well, but he's been really, really good. And that Oregon team's been rolling through 4 weeks. But Penn State is that team that coming into the year, it's like they have the most returning players, returning starters. Drew Aller's coming back. That backfield looks good. I made the comparisons to 2023 Michigan because of all that they're returning and the makeup of their team. Their defense is very nice. But like, I don't know, man. I think Oregon could sneak one on Penn State because I have not seen Penn State show. They have not showed as They haven't been that impressive this year. Let me just put it that way. They have not impressed me yet.
I'm so done with Penn State and hyping these quarterbacks up and thinking that I'm done with it, dude. Drew Aller's not good. I don't care. I don't care that he has the perfect size and a great arm and he's the prototype. I don't care. He's not good. I'm tired of talking about him. He's not a first-round pick. He's not an NFL quarterback. I'm so done with the conversation. It's the same exact place I was in with Will Levis. I was so tired of hearing about how good Will Levis was and how he was going to be a first-round pick and be a great NFL quarterback because he looked good in shorts. I'm so done with it. Drew Aller sucks.
Damn.
He sucks. He sucks for what people make him out to be. Absolutely. Is he fine? Yeah, he's a fine college quarterback. Is he a first-round pick? Absolutely not. Is he an NFL Pro Bowl cap? No, he's not. He's never shown it. I don't care that he's a 5-star. I don't care that he's 200.
Him or Sean Clifford? That's the real question here.
Do what?
Him or Sean Clifford, his predecessor?
They're the same. They're the same. That's the thing. It's the same thing every time with these Penn State quarterbacks. Anyway,
honestly, you're not necessarily wrong. Will Levis at least had the athletic ability where it's like, okay, he can run a little bit.
Yeah. Whatever.
Other guys.
Drew Aller's thrown. Okay, here we go. Let's talk about it. Drew Aller's thrown 4 touchdowns this year against Nevada, FIU, and Villanova.
Well, but their run game's badass, dude.
Don't care. Katron Allen and Nick Singleton will carry him as far as they can carry him, and that'll continue to be the case.
Yeah, dude.
Penn State's actually 3.5 point favorites.
Did you know he felt this way?
I love one of my highlights on the Bluff every year is when Christian goes off on.
When I find my quarterback that I'm
find your
tired
quarterback
of.
that you hate. The Will Levis team was awesome a few years ago. Now it's Drew Aller. I love it.
Yeah, he's definitely the new
Is there
one.
any other quarterbacks that I need to know about
currently or
Yeah,
that?
okay. What about DJ Lagway?
I'm not out on DJ Lagway yet.
Okay, you're like me.
That's different. That's that's still really young player.
Even though he's looked like absolute.
He's been
really
terrible.
good
He's a very young quarterback that's made very few starts. Drew Aller's been around for 3 years, and we're still waiting on him to be that guy. 4 touchdowns against Nevada, FIU, and Villanova is absurd for someone who people call a first-round pick.
Is there anybody else in college football, though, that I need to know about? Like, honestly.
No, not right now. He's the one that grinds my gears the most.
He's looked okay, though, this year.
Who, Carson Beck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Just Aller's the one.
People don't call Carson Beck a first-round pick, though. Last year when they did, it was pissing me off a little bit. This year, they don't say it anymore. Drew Aller, they're still talking about it. Penn State at home, 3.5 point favorites. Not very surprising, but at the same time, I just think Oregon's a better football team. I think Dan Lanning's a better coach than James Franklin is. I know Penn State obviously has talent. They had a lot that came back, but Dante, DeCorian Moore, what they've been able to do together, The run game for Oregon's been solid, and they've been mixing it up and having multiple different guys. Malik Benson also for Oregon at the wide receiver position. I think they're dynamic. I think they're so much better offensively, just as far as chunk plays and dynamic plays go than Penn State. I just think they make more plays in this game. I know it's in Happy Valley. I know it's the whiteout, but 3.5, Oregon laying 3.5 points to Penn State's kind of crazy to me.
Give me the points. I'll take the points.
I agree. Give me Oregon on the money line, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, I don't mind that at all.
Yeah.
I don't mind that at all.
All right, Kenny.
All right, here we go. Last topic of the Hot 3. We're gonna as much as I hate that we've talked about Ole Miss so much this episode already, we're gonna talk about him again, another quarterback from Ole Miss, but he's in the NFL with the New York Giants. Jackson Dart was named the starter after Russell Wilson has shot the bed for the last time, I think. It's a big storyline, right? Everybody's talking about when's Jackson Dart going to play? When's he going to play? When's he going to play? That's a storyline we can talk about. But what are some of the other NFL storylines?
Christian,
Can I
I'm sorry to ask this question.
If it's the same question, I'm going to ask.
How bad is the Cowboys' defense?
Oh,
to have Russell Wilson throw for 450 and then look like he did this weekend against the Chiefs.
It's bad. I told you it was going to be bad. I knew it was going to be bad.
Dude, it's generationally bad.
Trayvon Diggs is cooked.
Yeah, too many knees. Yeah, it's bad.
Hey, can I be honest? I never thought Trayvon Diggs was some lockdown corner.
He wasn't. He never was. If he was, if you get turnovers, that's one thing. Okay, let's talk about Jackson Dart because I do have a question.
Let's get off. Stop it.
Hey, we'll have. Look, we got 15 more weeks, 14 more weeks to climb on the Cowboys.
Yeah, we got to slow burn the Cowboys shit.
Yeah, we play the Packers this week. The Micah Parsons stuff. We'll have that storyline to talk about next week.
Let's do that storyline next week.
Yeah, we can.
Right,
we can.
Jackson Dart.
Yes. Okay. So many things to unpack here. First off, Russell Wilson is horrible.
Horrible.
That sequence, that goal line
tight red zone
sequence, that was one of the worst things I've ever
out of the
watched.
back of the end zone to no one.
Intentional grounding, 4-yard quarterback run, throw away out of the back end zone, throw away out of the back end zone.
On fourth down.
One of the craziest things I've ever seen. Okay. We knew he was going to be benched. He needed to be benched. It's Jackson Dart time. You're getting booed. Dayball's way on the hot seat. Here's what bothers me. They already rolled Russell Wilson out there for 3 weeks, right? Why are we going to throw Jackson Dart in there against Jesse Minter and Jim Harbaugh?
Well,
Why? No, do you know who they play next week?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Well,
The Saints.
The Saints after that, but this is 5 of their next 6 games. Chargers, 2 against the Eagles, Broncos defense, and 49ers.
Oh, God.
This stretch of schedule to throw in a rookie, it's just like kind of insane. But I get it because Russell Wilson's so bad. And, hey, at least I can maybe see if this rookie can take his lumps.
Yeah.
And he clearly gives them a better shot at winning. Here's my biggest concern about the Giants is Dayball and Shane drafted this kid. They're both firmly on the hot seat. This team's going to get their ass kicked the rest of the year. They're going to have a losing season. If they get fired, what happens to Jackson Dart?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's why I always was kind of, even when they picked him, like, I don't think it's the worst situation for Jackson Dart, but if those two get fired, it could get really nasty for him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking if they are letting him play this week, that means Andrew Thomas has to be back to full-time snaps. Right? He played 25, I think, on Sunday Night Football, had his snaps limited coming back from injury. He's got to be full-time. We've got to see a heavy dose of Cam Scatterboo in the backfield just to take some of the pressure off him. He can make plays when he gets the ball in his hand. So hand him the ball, throw it to him, much like they did on Sunday Night Football. Dayball, for as much crap as he's taken over the last couple of years, and I think he did a poor job of it on Sunday Night Football against the Chiefs, which is scheming players open. He typically has excelled at. He did a wonderful job, I believe, with Diggs in Buffalo, of scheming him open and getting the ball to him. He did a wonderful job last year with Malik Neighbors on a team that had no talent of finding ways to get him the ball. If Jackson Dart's going to be successful and stay upright against a really physical and a really well-coached Chargers defense, you're going to have to find ways to get the ball in Wandale Robinson's hands and in Malik Neighbors' hands and in Cam Scadaboo's hands. And I know it's probably been tough sledding for Daboll just as far as game planning and putting stuff together for Russell Wilson to go out there and just suck. So maybe bringing Jackson Dart in will give him some new juice as a play caller and get his creative juices flowing again and just let Jackson Dart get into some kind of rhythm. But this is a tough I mean, you got Derwin James and Dayon Henley and, luckily Khalil Mack's not there for the, luckily for the Giants. Khalil Mack's not there right now, but it's probably the most well-coached defense in the league with dudes that will fly around and knock your head off. So Daboll's going to have to come to coach as good as he possibly can this week.
All right, here's the storyline I'm watching, and then we'll get out of here. Daniel Jones, is he the GOAT or what? I have to compare some stats for you. Quarterback A versus quarterback B. We're going to do a little blind resume, although you know one of them is Daniel Jones. You clearly know that. All right, now quarterback A, who is Daniel Jones, is 3-0. Quarterback B is 3-0. Quarterback A, which is Daniel Jones, 111 passer rating to quarterback B, who's 108. Daniel Jones, 71% completion percentage. Quarterback B, 69%. Daniel Jones, 6 touchdowns. Quarterback B, 7. Daniel Jones, 871 total yards to quarterback B's 869. And turnovers, 0-0. Do you know who quarterback B is?
That would have to be Josh Allen.
That would be one Josh Allen. Daniel Jones stats through 3 weeks. And you can sit there and say he's played the Dolphins and the Titans. But he's been hooping, man. He looks the part. He really does.
Yeah.
It looks like it's sustainable too. This is not – it doesn't seem to me like a flash in the pan thing.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a lightning in the bottle situation. It feels like Shane Steichen found his quarterback that knows how to run his offense. And yeah, I mean, it was hard to see the vision for this to be successful. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Myers.
What's
up, Big Daddy? You think Daniel Jones is the GOAT?
Hey, continue, Christian. I'm sorry.
I think Shane Steichen found his quarterback. I know it was hard to see going into the year. I mean, I was the same way. I was like, this offense is not going to be good. But with Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman and Josh Downs and the way that Tyler Warren's played as a first-round pick tight end, Daniel Jones has been nearly flawless. They have punted one time in 3 games.
Y'all didn't see this coming, though, right? Y'all had this. No. I saw it coming. Do you know why I saw it coming? I saw a video where the Indianapolis head coach, and I don't even know his name, Shane Steichen, announced that Daniel Jones was a captain. And everybody was like, what the hell is going on in Indianapolis? Like, why is Daniel Jones a brand new quarterback, a guy who stunk it up in New York, now he's your captain? Like, oh God, Indianapolis, what's going on there? They saw something. They saw it.
Gabe, I'll ask you one question, then we'll get out. Who fixed Daniel Jones? Shane Steichen, or was it the stint with the Vikings and Kevin O'Connell?
Oh, that's a good question.
Did KOC fix it?
I would assume KOC.
KOC fixed Daniel Jones and gave him to Shane Steichen.
Well, he talked about that. He talked about Daniel Jones said. I heard somebody talking about that the other day, saying that he credits Minnesota, the time in Minnesota where he didn't even see the field at all, as like life-changing for him as a quarterback because he
KOC's that dude.
Yeah,
KOC's that dude. He got Sam Darnold the ball in too, and Sam Darnold's never been good. So
look at Carson Wentz, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, that's something I'm watching. Is JJ McCarthy ever going to get his job back?
Probably not.
They won 48-10 over the Bengals in Carson Wentz's debut.
Yeah. All right. Well, that will do it for this week's episode. We appreciate you guys for watching. If you are watching on YouTube, you can like, subscribe, and comment there. If you're listening via podcast, whether that's Apple, Spotify, or any other podcast platform, you can do the same things there. If you're watching on YouTube, you're getting treated to Myers right now. So that's our youngest listener right there. Once again, we appreciate you guys for joining us. It was good for all 3 of us to be back this week, and we will see you back here next week.
Thank you for listening to On the Bluff. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. Head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co for comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports and how you can become an insider.